Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. Today we'll be taking a look at a deck that actually has the Dragonite EX as the main attacker. Dragonite EX is quite unique with its bust-in ability, so by playing this card from our hand, we can actually move a number of basic energy cards from any of our Pokemon, attach them to our Dragonite EX, and if we do this, our Dragonite EX will actually go on to be our active Pokemon. Quite a cool ability. His Jet Sonic attack, though, unfortunately, can only hit for a total of 120 damage, and the only way it would actually do this 120 damage is by us having to discard a energy from Dragonite EX into our discard pile. Nonetheless, though, Dragonite EX is actually going to work quite well in combination with the Virizion EX. So Virizion EX, first of all, its Verdant Wind ability is quite powerful in that it prevents our Dragonite EX from actually being affected by any status conditions. So placing down our Virizion EX, we are immune to those hypnotoxic lasers, poisoning, confusion, things like that. So Virizion EX is definitely quite nice. And also his Emerald Slash attack will allow us to search for um, two basic grass type energies and attach them to any of our bench Pokemon. So that is nice in that he could possibly be used to allow our Dragonite EX to attack much more earlier, because Dragonite EX's attack is relatively quite costly. It requires a total of 3 energies, so Virizion EX is definitely there to help us out. Also, whenever we do use the Bust-in attack, and they're actually forced to discard an energy card, our Mega Manectric EX, using its Turbo Bolt attack, will allow us to fetch those energy cards from our discard pile and then attach them to our benched Pokemon once again. So Mega Manectric EX is absolutely a fantastic addition to this deck. Also, it's quite nice that he does use lightning type energies, which our Dragonite EX happens to use as well. So we're not necessarily compromising anything by actually including the Mega Manectric EX in our deck. We're also going to be running a total of 2 Zekroms, just because, again, he's going to be the only anti-safeguard Pokemon in our deck. Otherwise, we would not be able to deal with those Pokemon. So he is quite nice. And also, his Bolt Strike attack could be used from time to time, in case we do want to get rid of those anti-safeguard Pokemon, again, in a single hit. His Outrage attack is nonetheless quite good as well. So Zekrom, a nice Pokemon, so we'll be including 2 copies of him in our deck. So let's go on to discuss the trainer cards that we are using, guys. So we'll be using one Escape Rope, a relatively self-explanatory card. Pretty much works with the same function as Switch. It is just nice to have at least one of each in our deck. Usually, so I have included one of each. We're also going to be running a total of 2 Max Potions. Thanks to our Mega Manectric EX, we can be a little bit more lax with respects to discarding our energy cards. So Max Potion is going to come in handy, but we're only going to be running 2 copies, and the main trainer card that we are actually going to be running, which is quite unique, is going to be the Super Scoop Up. So this will just allow us to retrieve our Dragonite EX and then bring him back into our hand, and then once we play him down into the field again, we can go right ahead and bust in and bring the Dragonite EX back into our active slot once again. So Super Scoop Up is nice. The only downside to it is that we actually need to rely on a coin flip, and we need to get heads to actually be able to use our Super Scoop Up. So given the fact that we are running Super Scoop Ups, sometimes it may not actually work out. So Scoop Up Cyclone is a nice aspect card in that it pretty much is like the Super Scoop Up, but we're guaranteed to bring our Pokemon back into our hand. So Super Scoop Up is definitely a card that I like, so I am going to be including it as our aspect card. It tends to work incredibly well in this deck, so that's why we are actually running this. And we're also going to be running a single AZ. AZ is sort of like the Super Scoop Up, but there are some downsides to it. And that number 1, it is a supporter type card. And number 2, it only puts our Pokemon into our hand. So it discards all cards attached to our Pokemon. So that includes our energy cards. But luckily, again, we do have the Mega Manectric EX, which can be used to fetch those energy cards from our discard pile. So as you guys can see, we have a whole bunch of cards to repeatedly bring our Pokemon back into our hand or heal them back to full HP, things like that. So this deck can potentially be quite powerful to deal with. Of course, the one thing that I do dislike, though, is the fact that we are relying on these Super Scoop Ups, and our Dragonite EX is unfortunately not able to, in most instances, perform one-hit knockouts. So discussing some of the other cards that we are running, guys, is since we are going to be running two Manectric EXs and two Mega Manectric EXs, of course we are going to be running a total of two Manectric Spirit Links as well, just so that we don't have to sacrifice one of our turns when we are actually evolving our Pokemon. We're going to be running, of course, 3 Muscle Bands just to allow us to dish out a little bit of additional damage. We're also going to be running 2 VS Seekers, 3 Ultra Balls, some standard type of supporter cards, so 4 Junipers, 4 Ants, 2 Colress, 2 Lysanders, and 2 Skyla, and we're going to be running a total of 11 energy cards, 7 of them being grass energies, and 4 of them being lightning energies. So with that, guys, let's go and use this deck in battle. This deck, I feel like it should perform quite well. This is actually going to be my first time using it, so I haven't actually had a chance to tweak it or anything. So my apologies in case the deck may still need some possible improvements, but I feel like it should work relatively quite well. And it looks like we are going to start first. Our opponent is running Fire and Psychic type Pokemon, so not exactly sure what that's going to be. I will start off with a Virizion EX though, just to use his Verdant Wind attack and allow us to speed up the rate of energy attachment to our Pokemon. So let's go and attach a Fire Energy to him. Okay, so it looks like it's a Victini EX type deck. If our opponent does actually have the spec for the Victini EX, that would be able, then he would be able to actually perform the one-hit knockout. You know what? Actually, let me undo that and let's see if I can scoop up Cyclone or Virizion EX. Okay, it looks like we've just gotten the tails. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to place the Leaf Energy to our bench Manectric EX, and I'm actually going to use the Juniper, hoping for another scoop up Cyclone just to get rid of our Virizion EX. And another tails. Okay. Let's try once again. And wow, 3 tails in a row. Quite a terrible start for us at the moment. Hopefully our Virizion EX does not get knocked out. Again, I'm quite disappointed in our flips, and it doesn't actually look like we have any energy cards in our hand either. So quite possibly one of the worst types of starts that we could possibly have. Luckily, our opponent actually does not have the spec card for his Virizion EX, because then he would be able to attack us right away. And it looks like he's going to grab out a Pignite. A bit of an unusual strategy. Not actually sure if our opponent is running a lot of good cards. So Camerupt, Crobat, definitely a very unusual strategy. So let's see what our opponent is actually running. So he is running a Crobat type deck, okay, with the sneaky bites and things like that. So that's going to be quite annoying for us to deal with. And a Ponyta, not exactly the greatest matchup for us, but I don't particularly think that our opponent is all that experienced. I may just use the Dragonite EX to bust in, just to prevent our Virizion EX from getting knocked out in case our opponent does get the double colorless energy. But we'll see. We'll see what the actual best sort of scenario is. And again, our opponent is running a very, very atypical deck. So let's see what we should actually do. Okay, so we do have another Scoop Up Cyclone in our hand. The very last one. I'm quite heavily disappointed in these cards. Again, this is why I don't particularly like to rely on these item cards. And we're flipping another Tails. That's absolutely awesome, guys. Let's go and evolve our Manectric EX into the Mega Manectric EX. We'll end our turn. Or should I actually bust in with our Dragonite EX? You know what? I actually think I will bust in. So let's go and attach the energy to our Dragonite EX just in case, and then I will go and evolve our Manectric EX into the Mega Manectric EX. Again, not the best situation for us at the moment. But the Virizion EX is at least out of harm's way temporarily, and that Rapidash will be able to use his Overrun attack. So I think it is a smart option that we did bring our Virizion EX to our bench just to sort of prevent that sort of sticky situation. Okay, and let's see what our opponent is going to do. Okay, it looks like he is going to retreat and bring out his Rapidash. So definitely do think that it was the wiser choice that we did bring our Virizion EX into our bench. But I'm hoping that we really get some supporter cards or something, because we have already used our Super Scoop Ups. I'm extremely disappointed in these cards. Normally I wouldn't see such poor performance, but again, wow, we've done horribly with these Super Scoop Ups. Okay, so thinking who I should actually attach an energy card to. Our Dragonite EX may actually not be able to use the Jet Sonic attack, because he is going to take some damage from the Overrun attack. So you know what, I'm going to attach the Grass Energy to our Mega Manectric EX, and unfortunately I have to end our turn, hoping that we get an N or a Professor Juniper, some sort of supporter type card, just so that we can actually start doing a little bit of damage. And that Victini EX is actually a little bit menacing right now because his intensifying burn attack will be able to hit for 100 damage. And of course, the possibly one of the worst cases with respects to our Virizion EX, and that he would be able to get one hit knocked out. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to go and bring out another Dragonite EX. No, you know what? I'm just going to use the escape rope temporarily and bring out our Mega Manectric EX. Because I could retreat him, so that's fine. So unfortunately, I have to end our turn. Hopefully, we can make a comeback. We have a relatively poor start at the moment. I could discard both of our muscle bands, however, and grab onto another Dragonite EX, which can bust in. But okay, so I am going to place down the Zekrom for now, and then I'm going to retreat our Mega Manectric EX and bring him out. So now our opponent's Victini EX's attack only hits us for 50 damage, and with that we have to end our turn. Luckily, we do have 2 max potions in our deck, though, because again, I don't particularly trust these flips, and I'm sure you guys will get luckier with respects to these super scoop ups, but I've been just very, very unlucky. Not sure why our opponent actually attached a psychic energy to his. Okay, because he's actually going to retreat. Okay, that makes sense. Fair enough. And he's going to hit our Zekrom for 60 damage, and he's going to target our Dragonite EX. Okay, thankfully we finally gotten a Professor Juniper, so I'm kind of happy about that. I guess I'm just going to go and attach a muscle band to our who should I to our Zekrom in case he needs to retaliate, I suppose, and to our Manectric EX, and then let's go and use the Juniper. Okay, and looks like we finally have another Dragonite EX, so we can bust in with him. So let's go and do that. Grab these 2 energy cards. So let's go and finally bring in the Dragonite EX, and finally we can start dishing out a little bit of damage. So I'm going to go and attack using his Jet Sonic attack. I will hit for an additional 40 damage to actually get rid of that Rapidash. So, oops, I accidentally forgot to discard. No, I accidentally clicked OK. Again, guys, I haven't really used this deck, so I'm guessing I should have actually clicked on one of my energy cards and actually discarded it. That would have actually gotten rid of the Rapidash, but I accidentally did not do that. So, sorry about that, guys. Still sort of learning how to maneuver and use this deck. But I definitely do think that Super Scoop Up is one of the nicer cards that we could use, but we've just been getting very unlucky with it. So I will be using the Colress. Hopefully I can get a Super Potion, a Max Potion or something like that. So let's go and use the Colress. Okay, so none of that just yet. So I am going to go and attach the Lightning Energy to our Manectric EX, and then I will get rid of that Rapidash. So let's go and use the Jet Sonic attack. This time I'm not going to discard an energy and get rid of that Rapidash to draw one of our prize cards. Okay, looks like we've just gotten another Grass Energy. Our Dragonite EX is unfortunately on the verge of death. A lot of our Pokemon are actually taking a pretty heavy beating right now, so hopefully we can still make a comeback from this. I may just have to retreat our Pokemon and bring out our Manectric EX for now. I do have the Skyla though, so no, it looks like that the Gengar EX is going to target him using his Night attack, unfortunately, so I was not able to save him. Okay, but I will be using the Skyla to fully heal our Mega Manectric EX, and yeah, I think that would be the best choice. So let's go and do that. Fully heal our Mega Manectric EX. I will be placing down another. No, sorry, I'm gonna leave the spot open in case we do bring out our other Dragonite EX with its Bustin ability. But again, we've used up a lot of our Super Scoop Ups, unfortunately, so we only have a single Dragonite EX remaining in our deck. So I'm going to go and attach the Grass Energy to our Mega Manectric EX. Let's see how many Lightning Energy. Okay, I don't actually have any Lightning Energies in our discard pile, so that is quite good. Let's go and attack using the Jet Sonic attack. I am going to go and discard a Grass Energy to hit for an additional 20 damage. So 120 HP. That Gengar EX only has 50 HP remaining, so we should be able to knock it out on our next turn. And let's see what our opponent is actually doing. I'm thinking of actually bringing out our Manectric EX for now, and possibly bringing out our Mega Manectric EX just so that we can, because we do have the free retreat on him, just so that we can sort of figure out what the best situation would be. I may just have to use the N on our next turn. and our opponent is going to poison our Dragonite EX. So and his Gengar EX will be retreating. So I will actually have to. Oh no, sorry, I'm not actually poisoned. Oh right, I completely forgot. So at least Virizion EX does have his uses. Quite happy about that. And let's see if I'm actually going to go and discard our Manectric Spirit Link. It's no longer going to be needed, and I'm also going to give up an N. So we do have the Dragonite EX, so we're going to go and bust in with him. So let's go and place him down. And then I'm going to go and grab a few energies just so that our Dragonite EX can start attacking. So let's grab onto these energies and bring in our Dragonite EX. I'm going to go and attach a grass energy to our Mega Manectric EX, and I'm actually going to go and lure out that Gengar EX, or you know what, I'm actually going to get rid of that Victini EX. He's actually a pretty menacing Pokemon in my opinion, and the Gengar EX is actually not able to hit for a lot because his Dark Corridor attack is completely negated thanks to our Virizion EXs. I think I'm going to give up a Lightning Energy for now. So let's go and knock out that Victini EX and draw onto 2 prize cards. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to use the N on our next turn, and may possibly have to retreat our Dragonite EX in case we don't happen to draw onto a Lightning type energy. But it looks like we are probably going to be able to make a comeback because again, that Dragonite EX's Dark Corridor attack is definitely going to be reduced in terms of how much damage it can actually deal to us. Okay, so Rocky Helmet, Full Tone. Yeah, let's go right ahead and use the Sterling Megaphone. I'm going to use the N for some new cards in our hand. I don't think the Muscle Band is going to be all that handy, so let's go and use the N and see if we get anything better. Okay, so we do have the Professor's Letter, so I'll be able to grab out a Lightning Energy and a Grass Energy. Unfortunately, if I do use the Lightning Energy to a Dragonite EX, our Mega Manectric EX will no longer be able to attack. So is that something that I am willing to do? You know what? Since our opponent's Pokemon just simply can't dish out enough damage, I think that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and attach the Lightning Energy to a Dragonite EX and then use the Jet Sonic attack for 80 damage. I still do think we have 1 Lightning Energy in our prize cards because 1 Lightning Energy here and 1 here, and I believe 1 in our discard pile. Yeah, so we do still have 1 prized. So theoretically, we should still be able to attack with our Mega Manectric EX in case we do need to do that. But I can just go right ahead and use the AZ on our Dragonite EX. It will discard all of our energies, but I'll still nonetheless be able to attack with him. So let's go and bring him back into our hand. I'm going to bring out the Mega Manectric EX, and then I'm going to bring out the Dragonite EX once again, use a Grass Energy to him, and then use the Jet Sonic attack for 80 damage, and hopefully draw onto... Oh, it doesn't even matter anymore. Okay, so it looks like our Lightning Energy is going to be our last card. But we should be able to win. Unfortunately, our opponent was not really able to do anything. Again, the Gengar EX's ability was negated thanks to our Virizion EX. So let's go on to the victory. And again, guys, I am extremely disappointed in our Super Scoop Up flips, but looks like we have been able to win the game. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.